those principles that apply to my personal recovery, I think they apply to the recovery of our world. We have to get truthful. We have to get honest. Ronald Reagan in 1964 said, "This is a time for choosing." And I think his words are as relevant today as they were then, maybe more so. Reagan said, "There's not a man alive who would carelessly send another person's son to war." And that is the real issue that makes all of the problems we might discuss academic. Unless we realize that we're in a war that must be won. Those of us who would trade in our freedoms for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us that they have a utopian solution of peace without victory. They call their policy accommodation. And they say if we'll only avoid any direct confrontation with this enemy, well, they'll forget their evil ways and learn to love us. It's not true, is it? So we have to stand up and tell the truth. And it's so sad because leaders, religious leaders, from the Catholic Pope to many of the greatest minds in Christian Protestantism, have chosen that path of accommodation, of appeasement. And you know who sees that? The enemy, Satan. He looks at us and he knows the decision that we're going to make, because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead. Or as one recent commentator put it, "I'd rather live with my mask on my knees than die standing on my feet." And therein lies the road to war, because those voices, they don't speak for the people in this room, do they? This standing up for truth goes for our beautiful, beloved Constitution as well. Do we even believe in the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness any longer? You know, there's no coincidence why it's in that order. Because without your life, you can have no liberty. And without your liberty, there can be no happiness. Winston Churchill said, "The destiny of man cannot be measured in material computations." When great forces are on the move throughout this world, we learn that we are spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which for you and I in this room, that spells duty. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to 1,000 years of darkness. We're at war now with the greatest enemy that's ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said that if we lose this war, and in so doing lose this great way of freedom of ours, history's going to record with the greatest astonishment that those of us that had the most to lose did the least to prevent it from happening. My fellow Christian warriors, set yourselves apart from this crooked and depraved generation. Be saints. We weren't made to fit in. We were born to stand out. It kind of reminds me of the words Mel Gibson intoned in his Academy Award-winning film, Braveheart. When he stood before his ragtag army, and he said to them, as I'm going to say to you today, Wallace said, "I see before me an army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You have come to fight as free men, and free men you are. What would you do without freedom? Will you fight?" This man says, "No, against that we will run, and we will live." Aye? Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live for at least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?